Hey garden gals and guys, it's Steph with Tiny's Garden. I'm coming to you from my car today. It is very wet and rainy here with the big storm that's going through the US. Wherever you are, I hope you are safe. But today I'm going to talk about fighting algae, and it's my first time fighting algae on soil blocks, but I've learned some tips and tricks, and so I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. I'm also going to put a video below to Bree from Blossom and Branch Farms video about it because I thought that was really informative. So I will link that down below, but I'm going to take you to the grocery store with me because we need one in particular ingredient. Come along. In the spice rack on a search. Oh, I see it. So it's the next day and we are back home and I have my magic ingredient, the cinnamon. So I want to talk to you a little about my experience so far. This is my first year doing soil blocks, which these are two of my Lisianthus trays right here. And I'm still getting the watering down. I water once a day, usually either in the morning or at night. I started in the morning and then I switched to at night. But I have been noticing that when I use the plastic wrap on my seedlings to help them germinate, I tend to get more algae than if I use a dome cover. So let me show you the difference. I would simply take plastic and put it over the tray and put it under the grow lights and let them germinate that way. But like I said, when I did that method, I noticed more moisture and thus more algae growth. When I would take just a humidity dome and put it over the tray, which this size doesn't fit on here, but it does fit on some, I noticed a little less algae growth. So after trying both methods, I think I'm leaning towards just using this. Comment below and let me know what you do with your soil blocks, or if you only use the plastic wrap for a certain amount of days and then take it off. I'm still trying it a little bit because I see a lot of people do it, but I have noticed that's a big difference in the growth of algae from the start. So I wanted to mention that. Now I started these Lisianthus on January 15th. Today is February 23rd. So it's been about 5 weeks and really I am thrilled with how they're doing. I'll give you an up close look. Now this tray I have not touched besides potting up some of them that had 2 or 3 seedlings in the block. And you can see there's a decent amount of algae growth on them. But the growth of the actual Lisianthus is still looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. But because I'm noticing that algae, I spent the other night with this tray and sat down in my chair with my husband across from me and had a riveting evening trying to clean up this tray of all the algae. And I have to say, I think I did a pretty good job. I will put a picture on the screen of what it looked like compared to the other tray right after I took all the algae off before I put this vermiculite on. But I did put this vermiculite on after because that will help with moisture levels as well. But now what I'm going to do is sprinkle this tray with cinnamon because cinnamon has properties that help keep algae at bay. What I don't want to happen is these Lisianthus seedlings to compete with the algae for nutrients. Now, I have not fertilized these seedlings yet. I use Neptune's Harvest fish fertilizer, but I have not come in and done that yet. So that's just an FYI. But when the time comes, and I could do that at any point now, I think they're big enough, I don't want the algae to get those nutrients rather than the Lisianthus, especially the Lisianthus because, my gosh, I love my Lissies. So enter cinnamon. So I'm gonna do this tray and then I'm gonna use a little brush. This is just something I found in our drawer, and kind of scoop some of the cinnamon off of the Lisianthus itself, but still have it spread out throughout the tray. Axel! Don't knock over the camera. Smells like cinnamon up in here, up in here. Okay, so my official first time using cinnamon, and we'll see how it does over the next few weeks. If you've done this before, comment below and let me know your experience. Did you notice a difference? Is it really worth it? I'm betting it is, because clearly you saw the tray that has algae on it. Definitely has some algae there. And a lot of people start their soil blocks right out of the gate with cinnamon sprinkled on top to keep that at bay from the start. So I'll probably do that next year, or with the next group of seedlings I do, if needed. Cinnamon rain, cinnamon rain. Now, like I said, it's my first time doing this, but I'm just using the sprinkly whole side and sprinkling some on there. And then I'm gonna come back in and brush a little bit of the cinnamon off the direct part of the Lisianthus. Well, coming in here. Ooh, this brush works really nicely. Just a little brush off of the leaves there. I like this. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I'm gonna finish doing this whole tray, and then I'll show you how I actually come in with a chopstick and take the algae off the soil block from the start, which is a boring job, but also strangely cathartic. Okay, this tray's all done. Let's take a look at the finished, woo! That was close. The finished products. Okay, here we are. So you can still see the Lisianthus poking through. They're not covered. They're still gonna get plenty of light, but you can see the cinnamon, that dark brown powder on top there. Let's put this one back under the grow light and get to work clearing this one out. Okay, so all I'm doing to clear this off is using a little chopstick. We order a lot of sushi, so I've got plenty of chopsticks hanging around, and I just use the tilted slanted end. And then I keep a napkin beside me because I like to wipe off the stick, and it's kind of sticky, so it's better if it's not all over my hands and on the napkin. Now, I will warn you, this takes a while. It's kind of a tedious job, but I'm sure you could move faster than me, but I'm being a little anal and really trying to get as much of it off as I can on each block. So the other night, I don't know when I started, probably 8 o'clock, and the next thing I knew when I was done, it was 10 p.m., which is way past my bedtime. So be patient, or you can probably move a little quicker than me. Let's time myself, see how long it takes for me to do this. Okay, I'm giving you a close-up here. We're gonna come in on this block because you can see the algae along here and on the other side. These are also not wet right now. They're more toward dry, but still a little wet. I will water these in probably 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. So taking my tilted tip, coming in here. Ooh, that was a nice clean scrape. I'm really trying not to disturb the whole integrity of the block. Yeah, let's try and keep that one in there. A little bit in here. Oh, we are gonna take that piece. Okay, that's enough. I don't wanna take any more of that block off. But now, nice clean brown top. Two down. Look at this guy. This one's really, oh, this is gonna be a satisfying one. This is where I'm talking about. It can be, oh, that's a little big chunk. Kind of cathartic. Look at that guy. Hasta luego. Oh yeah, look at all that. coming off. Okay, I'll be honest, this is a little more of the block taken off than I would like. Like, I don't really love that there's kind of a hole there, but I think it should be okay. Now, I don't necessarily think it is necessary to be as tedious as I am being going through these really slowly and doing this, but at the same time, I personally don't want anything to happen to these trays of Lizzie's because they're the only ones I've started. I went all in on soil blocks with Lisianthus. So I really want them to live because if they die, oh my gosh, if both of these trays die, I would cry, no doubt. Definite tears. So I am being extra tedious. If you're a flower farmer, obviously you've got more seedlings than I do, and you probably don't have the time to go in and be super tedious. I know I've heard you can do like a cinnamon stick watering and go over the top with cinnamon water, not necessarily having to pick the algae off, but I am just going the extra mile and picking it off and then doing my layer of cinnamon. So, like I said, I'll post that video that I found really helpful below because there's a couple ways you can fight it. I think some people just put another layer of vermiculite right on top of the algae itself. But these are my Lisianthus babies, and you know, I gotta treat them with the utmost respect. So I'm gonna get going on this tray, which is obviously gonna take me a while. If that took me 13 minutes for one, I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more. You do the math on that, oh my gosh. So I'll come back after this is done. We'll put cinnamon on, we'll put vermiculite on, and we'll put them back under the grow lights. Wish me luck. I'm getting there. I've got 3 whole blocks to go. I've done 4, but I've got to go to my in-laws for dinner, so I will come back and finish those up, and we will finish this video. Fair warning, your lower back and neck after doing this, it takes a little toll on you, so fair warning. Woo, that lower back is speaking to me. See you in a bit. Okay, I am back, and I am also finally done. So you will be able to see the difference in this tray versus when I first showed you. There is much less green, much less algae on top. Here we are now. It's a little more crumbly than I would like in some spots, but overall, less algae for sure. So now let's put vermiculite and cinnamon on top. Just lightly covering them again. Not a big heavy layer, but enough that it should make a difference. And cinnamon. Then I'll come in using my little brush here and lightly brush some of the cinnamon off the foliage. And here's what we look like now. You can see the green is poking through, along with what looks like brown dust or dirt. And then when I water, some of this will just wash away that's not on the block, and that's completely fine. And now back under the grow light they go. So here we are all tucked away. I will water these in the morning, but man, they look so much better. A tedious job, but I think it'll be worth it. And I'm looking forward to all of these Lizzies to turn into beautiful, beautiful cut flowers soon enough. Check out this Lisianthus. Have you ever seen something so perfect? Now just a couple things to wrap this up. This is my dirt algae pile, I will throw this away. Will I do this to all of my seedlings that I feel like have algae on them? No. My Lisianthus are special babies to me. It's one of my favorite cut flowers, and they're so difficult to, well, let me back up. They're not necessarily so difficult to grow, but you have to be very meticulous with them, and I want to do everything I can to keep those girls alive out of all my babies. You know what I'm saying? That actually sounds kind of bad, like I don't care about the other ones. I do, just not quite like the Lizzies. If I have others that have algae on them, I will probably just sprinkle this on instead of get to work doing it with a tedious little chopstick, but the cinnamon will help no matter what. So if I do run across algae on some other soil blocks, I will use the cinnamon on those. But for something like the Lizzies, or maybe there's one that you really care about, I went the extra mile. Again, I'm not an expert by any means, but from what I've researched and read and have seen, it helps to try and take care of that problem before it becomes more of a problem. If you've got some algae on them, it's not a huge deal. It's even perhaps part of the process in some ways, but mine was getting a little too much for me. So I went in there and eradicated. Please comment below and let me know any other tips and tricks you have for dealing with your algae. Share the wealth of knowledge. Everybody learns from each other here, and I really appreciate you commenting below and being a part of this conversation. Otherwise, that is it for me here tonight. Remember to subscribe if you haven't to follow along with all things garden here on my channel, and we will see you in the next one. Happy planting, everybody. Bye!